So this is going to sound like one of the more, I guess, superficial things that I've probably said in my life. But I legitimately feel like the biggest things that I've had to deal with as pregnancy progresses is the body changes. I'm well into this pregnancy. I'm pretty far gone. I'm being honest with you. I'm pretty far gone into this pregnancy. But for somebody like me that did not get to experience a lot of it because I'd never had any symptoms. I still had like my period and I was still just living my life, if anything at all. I think that's something that everybody noticed was that my boobs got bigger, but I had been eating so much trash while I was on vacation that I just naturally assumed. And my, I think like I felt like after the surgery that I had in like May or so, that I just like was imbalanced hormonally. I think it was April. I was just hormonally imbalanced. So a lot of the months after that, I just really felt like my body was still trying to adjust to the trauma that I had been through. So I didn't like throw up or anything like that. I didn't really feel tired. I just basically felt normal. Like I didn't sleep more than usual. I didn't I don't know. It's just so like now it was almost a thing where as soon as I found out and everything like that, maybe like a week or two after I found out, everything kind of just started. Not everything, but like the symptoms that I actually have kind of just started. So obviously my stomach popped real quick. My stomach popped. Like it didn't pop big, but like all of a sudden I had a bump. All of a sudden periods stopped coming. All of a sudden started getting exhausted. All of a sudden couldn't sleep at night. And found it really uncomfortable to lie on my back. Definitely couldn't lie on my front. So it has just been a lot to deal with. I feel like for me right now, the one thing, and that's why I said like in the beginning that I feel like this is like hecka superficial, but I'm moving around with a lot of extra weight. And if you see me, you might not feel that way because the weight that I've gained is primarily, in fact, is solely on my stomach. I haven't gained weight anywhere else, really. I think maybe I don't even know if like I don't think it shows anywhere else. Most people don't even know until they actually see my stomach. So from here up and from here down, I still look more or less exactly the same, wear exactly the same things. It is just literally the stomach. And for somebody like me that has never had weight issues and has been the same size for a lot of my adult life, like the most that I grew was at some point in uni when I stopped being like a size 6 on top and on bottom. I started being a 6 on top, like UK, 6 on top and 8 on the bottom. That's the most weight that I've gained. I've literally been at a steady 57 to 60 kg for majority of my adult life. All of a sudden, I'm seeing other numbers on the scale. And there's a part of me that, although I know that is a good thing for the baby, that I'm gaining weight because it means that the baby is growing as well. There's that fear of like, there's that thing inside me that's just like, oh my gosh, like every time I see this number increase, I forget for a second that it's a good thing. And I'm just like, oh God, this is just extra more of me to carry around. Like, I know how much people like stress about weight gain and stuff like that. And a lot of things that happen in your life, you just feel like, or in other people's lives, you do feel like you can relate to until they happen to you. And then all of a sudden, you're just like, oh, wow, so this is what it feels like. That's kind of where I am mentally. Another thing is obviously, without making it sound too graphic or anything, when you're pregnant and a child is taking up majority of your space in your stomach, your organs have to move. So besides like my bladder, I think every other organ that used to be like down here is now up here. Everything is squeezing up here. And then all this space is now for the child. And then at the bottom of that space is where my bladder is. And I can tell because stuff like breathing has become increasingly stressful. Sometimes, depending on how I lie down, like I'm literally short of breath. I pee like, I pee so often. Like, sometimes I even pee like up to 12 times a day. Sometimes it's really small, but the bottom line is that it happens. And I just get tired more easily. Like, I'm the kind of person that, like, when I go for mass or when I'm like at the bank or stuff like that, I'm more than willing to stand for as long as I need to. But now I find that I can't do that. I'm more tired, but at the same time, so many times I feel so guilty, like attempting to sleep during the day. Like, I just feel like, oh my gosh, there's so many things I should be doing. Like, why the hell are you sleeping? And this is because I've only known that I was pregnant for a really short amount of time. So the things that people would normally kind of mentally prepare for a duration and then they now hit you, I'm having to deal with at the same time as they're hitting me. And there's so much guilt in that for me. I don't know where it is navigated towards, and everybody around me is always trying to encourage me. And like sometimes my friends will come over and I'll be so tired and I'll literally like take a nap while they're there. Or sometimes I will go to like my friend's house, or I'll go to like hang out with like Churro's dad and I'll literally fall asleep. And obviously everybody lets me sleep, but like when I wake up I always feel I always feel so bad and like not embarrassed, to be fair, because there's no reason to be embarrassed about it, but I do feel bad. It's just like so many different changes that I guess will come, but there's difference between knowing something and actually experiencing it. Now that I'm experiencing it, I'm almost like, wow, I don't even know how. Like, I feel like I got the better end of the stick, like pregnancy wise. I didn't have to experience all the symptoms and stuff in the beginning. I haven't gained a tremendous amount of weight. I'm not like all swollen and stuff. So like I've gotten a lot of the good bits as well. And it almost makes me feel even more guilty that I'm complaining about the stuff that I am experiencing. But this is really just how I feel. Anytime I talk to anybody new about this, they always ask me like if I'm having like any baby blues or any kind of like, because I do have a history of mental health, so it's expected that when you are now pregnant, especially in my situation where it wasn't even planned and it just literally came out of nowhere, like God was just taking care of the child casually and I was also just living my life. It's expected that would be traumatic enough to trigger something, but weirdly enough, this has been the best my mental health has ever been. Like, I'm so leveled, and I feel like I have the people around me that make me even more leveled. Chur's dad is doing such a good job at keeping me leveled. Alfred is doing such a good job. I don't want to like name my friends before I now forget somebody, because that's another thing that happens to me a lot nowadays. I forget so much. And there are the people that understand, and then people that I guess when I forget, they forget that there's a lot going on, so that's why she's forgetting. And I've had a cold for the longest time. Like, once I found out, like a week or two later, when I started taking like the vitamins and stuff like that, I got a cold, and I had the cold for like 2 weeks. It went for a while. I haven't had it, and then like at the last day or the second to last day of the year, I got another cold, and I've had that one since then. And my doctor has basically said, that might just be your thing. You might just be that. You might just be that pregnant person that just has a cold all through, and it might just be something that I'm having to accept. Emotion wise, I feel like I've been more stable than I was when I first found out, just because everything has normalized. When I first found out, like, there are certain things that would happen that I would just like find myself crying, One time I cried in the bank because I had to have like a really hard conversation with somebody, and I just started crying. And when I cry, like nowadays, I used to be that person. I used to cry once a year. I feel like I've spoken about this before, but like once this happened, like I would cry like at random times, up to the point that like sometimes my mom would be like, she would legitimately be worried, like what's going on? Somebody say something to you, stuff like that. It's just weird. Now I've pretty much balanced. I had a very interesting conversation with one of my uncles recently. Um, just about the future and about like life really, and that's kind of overwhelmed me because it's one thing when you're constantly thinking about something, it's another thing when somebody brings it up almost with the expectation that you're not even thinking about it, when that's probably all you're thinking about. It's like now I have so much time on my hands because there's so much that I really want to do that I can't do anymore because like there's so many restrictions, so many things I can't like eat, things I obviously can't drink, even like Red Bull. I can't have Red Bull. And like I never knew that I really wanted Red Bull like that until I realized I couldn't have it. Now I want it. You can have like coffee. You can have a certain degree of coffee, but you can't really have coffee like that. I didn't used to drink coffee before, but now that I know that there's a limit on that, I want it. I've been having a lot of cravings. I've spoken about my cravings on my Instagram. Sorry, I almost sneezed. I was trying to on my Instagram, especially sugarcane. I actually have a lot of sugar cravings, but I try to make sure I restrict them to like the healthier things. So things like frozen strawberries and sugarcane are like and agbalumo, like fruits are my go-to. And yeah, it's increasingly hard to like sleep on my sides. Like it's so uncomfortable for me, even with my body pillow, because as my stomach gets bigger, it becomes more uncomfortable. And before you know, it's like this will actually be done, and I'll have a baby. And like that whole idea excites me and scares me. I have moments where my paranoia is like, so like, what if something happens in between? And then obviously I have to like go back to God to reinforce me because I understand that I can't do this alone in the first place. So yeah, it's still been an interesting experience. Like it's also the reason why I don't really share a lot about it or really speak about it like in my posts, even though like I've been sharing like pregnancy-esque pictures. I haven't really focused on the pregnancies because like I said before, I'm not a fan of glamorizing things. Like this is not the situation that I would have panned out for myself. Whether or not I'm happy about it now is kind of inconsequential in that regard, because when you are any kind of an influencer, even if it's just 50 people that know you or like interact with you, you have a civil responsibility to those people, especially the younger they are, to not make things look like things that you know you don't support. You don't want to make them look like they're a walk in the park. So like that's a lot of my restrictions. I talked to my cousin recently because she was around, and she was just asking me like, why aren't you making more content and stuff like that surrounding the pregnancy? Like you have so much content to make now. And I was just like, guy, like I don't want people to just think that this is like a perfect situation. Oh my god. Like yeah, because this worked out for me, this can work for you too. That's just not the case. There have been hard times, like there have been emotional times for everybody. Family, friends. It has been just a thing. Like majority of my friends, if not all the people that I actually consider my friends, they know everything that's going on and they're in full support of my decisions and they're here to support me. But there is like one particular person that's kind of just ghosted when they found out about this, which to be completely honest was not really surprising to me personally, but it is what it is. This is technically like my first video of the year. So funny. And as usual, I'm here complaining. I'm here complaining, and the worst part is that I don't even know that I'm sorry that I'm complaining. I don't know that I am. I'm just chilling. But yeah, guys, it's pretty late. I'm going to have a shower and get to bed. I was sleeping in my mom's room. She's doing so much better. Thank you guys so much for those that have been asking. She's doing physio and stuff, and that's going pretty well. But we've just bonded in a very weird way. So now I've just been in her room since she literally calls it our room. And in my mind, I'm just like, I wonder what's going to happen when I actually have to move back to my room. The only reason I haven't been in my room for a while is because my sister was around. She's an artist, so I like to give her free reign of her space. My room is now officially a mess. Zizi, if you're watching this, you know what you did, girl. And it's just going to take a lot for me to arrange it before I can like come back to the zen that it was when you guys used to see it in the vlogs. And I'm definitely going to continue vlogging. I really do enjoy vlogging. So yeah, guys, good night or good morning, depending on when you're watching this. Thank you guys so much for watching as per usual. And do not forget that you are sugar, you are spice, and you are bomb ass jollof rice. Mwah.